Title: The Paradox of Wisdom, Embracing the Unknown and Why It's Not as Scary as It Sounds. Introduction: Picture this: a bustling marketplace in ancient Athens, where a bearded man in simple robes wanders, engaging passers-by in conversation. This is Socrates, one of history's most influential philosophers, and he's about to turn your world upside down with a simple idea. The ultimate wisdom lies in acknowledging our ignorance. But wait, how can ignorance be wisdom? Isn't that a contradiction? It's like saying the best way to get rich is to empty your bank account, right? Well, stick with me here, because we're about to embark on a journey through this paradoxical concept that might just change the way you view knowledge, learning, and life itself. Don't worry, I promise it'll be more fun than your high school philosophy class. The Socratic Paradox: knowing that we know nothing, or why Socrates would have been terrible at trivia night. Imagine you're at a party, and someone asks you to name everything you know. Easy, right? You start listing facts, skills, and experiences. I know how to tie my shoes. I can recite all the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody. And I'm pretty sure the capital of France is Paris. But then, consider this. For every fact you know, how many related facts are you unaware of? For every skill you've mastered, how many are yet to be learned? The ultimate wisdom lies in acknowledging our ignorance. True wisdom begins when we understand the vast ocean of knowledge that lies beyond our grasp. It's like standing on the shore of a beach, looking out at the endless horizon. The water at our feet represents what we know, but the vast expanse beyond, that's what we don't know, and it's immense. Suddenly, your impressive trivia knowledge doesn't seem so impressive anymore. Does it? But don't worry, this isn't meant to make you feel bad. In fact, it's quite liberating. Imagine the excitement of realizing there's always more to learn. It's like finding out that your favorite TV show just got renewed for 10 more seasons. The Dunning-Kruger effect, when ignorance breeds confidence, or why your uncle who watched one documentary thinks he's a geopolitical expert. Fast forward to modern psychology, and we find a concept that Socrates would have nodded sagely at: the Dunning-Kruger effect. This cognitive bias suggests that people with limited knowledge or expertise in a given domain tend to overestimate their abilities. A little knowledge can be a dangerous and often annoyingly overconfident thing. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who, after taking a single cooking class, suddenly declared themselves a master chef? Move over, Gordon Ramsay. There's a new culinary genius in town. Or perhaps you've encountered the armchair philosopher who, having read one book, believes they've unlocked all of life's mysteries. Trust me, I know exactly how to solve world peace. It's so simple. This overconfidence stems from not knowing enough to recognize how much more there is to learn. It's like climbing a small hill and thinking you've conquered Everest, simply because you can't see the towering peaks beyond. But hey, at least they're enthusiastic, right? The humble path to growth, or why admitting you're clueless can actually make you smarter. So, if acknowledging our ignorance is the key to wisdom, what does this mean for our personal growth? Let's consider a thought experiment. Imagine two students, Alice and Bob. Alice believes she knows everything about her chosen subject. She rarely asks questions and dismisses new information that challenges her existing beliefs. PSH, I don't need to study. I've got this. Bob, on the other hand, approaches each class with curiosity, always eager to learn more and challenge his assumptions. Wait, what? Mind blown. Tell me more. Who do you think will grow more in their understanding? Who will be more open to new ideas and perspectives? Spoiler alert, it's not Alice. By embracing our ignorance, we open ourselves up to endless possibilities for learning and growth. It's like being an explorer in uncharted territory. Every step brings new discoveries and insights. And let's be honest, doesn't that sound way more exciting than pretending to know everything already? The Socratic method, questioning as a path to knowledge, or how to annoy your friends while actually helping them think. Socrates didn't just preach about acknowledging ignorance. He practiced it through his famous method of questioning. Instead of lecturing, he would engage people in dialogue, asking probing questions that exposed gaps in their knowledge and encouraged critical thinking. Imagine if Socrates had a talk show. It would be like a philosophical version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? But where everyone leaves feeling slightly confused yet oddly enlightened. Try this. Next time you're in a conversation about a topic you think you know well, challenge yourself to ask more questions instead of making statements. You might be surprised at what you learn, both about the subject and about the limits of your own knowledge. Warning: this may result in your friends calling you the annoying question guy. But hey, that's the price of wisdom. Embracing uncertainty in a complex world, or why it's okay to say, I don't know, in the age of Google. In today's world of information overload and expert opinions on every topic, Socrates' wisdom is more relevant than ever. When we acknowledge our ignorance, we become more open-minded. Open-minded, we're more willing to consider different perspectives. Yes, even your cousin's crazy conspiracy theories. Well, maybe not those. Curious. We're driven to learn more and explore new ideas. It's like being a kid again, but without the mandatory bedtime. Humble. We're less likely to fall into the trap of arrogance or closed-mindedness. Humility. It's not just for monks and Canadian people anymore. In a rapidly changing world, admitting we don't know everything allows us to adjust and grow. It's like having a superpower, but instead of flying, you're really good at pivoting. The joy of not knowing, or why ignorance can be bliss. Sometimes, here's a fun thought. Think about the last time you were truly surprised by something new you learned. Wasn't it exciting? That moment of, wow, I had no idea. That moment of, wow, I had no idea, is a little spark of joy that comes from expanding your understanding of the world. By acknowledging our ignorance, we open ourselves up to more of these moments. It's like giving yourself permission to be amazed by the world around you. And in a time when cynicism often feels like the default setting, a little wide-eyed wonder can be a refreshing change of pace. The wisdom of doubt, or why questioning everything doesn't make you a conspiracy theorist. Embracing our ignorance doesn't mean we have to doubt everything all the time. That way lies madness, and probably a lot of tinfoil hats. Instead, it's about maintaining a healthy skepticism and being willing to question our own assumptions. Think of it like being a detective in the mystery novel of life. You gather clues, form hypotheses, but always remain open to new evidence that might change your perspective. It's not about being indecisive. It's about being intellectually flexible. And hey, if nothing else, it makes you a much more interesting conversationalist at parties. Actually, I'm not entirely sure about that. What do you think? Is a great way to start a stimulating discussion, or politely disagree with your politically charged uncle at Thanksgiving. Conclusion. The wisdom of the question mark, or why the smartest people are often the most confused. As we conclude our exploration of Socratic wisdom, ask yourself, how has your perspective on knowledge and ignorance shifted? Are you more comfortable saying, I don't know, than you were before? And most importantly, are you excited about all the things you get to learn now? Remember, acknowledging our ignorance doesn't mean wallowing in it. We're not aiming for blissful oblivion here. Instead, it's about approaching life with a curious, open mind, always ready to learn, grow, and challenge our assumptions. It's like being on a perpetual intellectual treasure hunt, where the X that marks the spot is always moving, but the journey itself is the real gold. In the end, perhaps true wisdom lies not in having all the answers, but in never stopping to ask questions. After all, isn't the question mark, that curving, uncertain punctuation, a fitting symbol for the wisest among us? It's like a little hook, always fishing for more knowledge in the vast sea of the unknown. So, the next time you find yourself absolutely certain about something, pause and consider, what don't you know? In that moment of doubt, you might just find a spark of Socratic wisdom. And who knows? You might also find yourself embarking on an exciting new learning adventure. Remember, in the grand scheme of things, we're all just walking question marks in the sentence of life. And isn't that a thrilling thought? Now go forth and embrace your ignorance. Wisely, of course.